The Yankees just had quite possibly their best series of the year. The New York Knicks have won Game 1 of the NBA playoffs. And Carlos Mendoza is a few games away from being fired. New York sports is in a really good spot right now. What's going on, guys? King of Under 61st. I'm back in another video, and I am serious when I say this is quite possibly the best series the Yankees have played this year. Yes, I remember the Giants series where the offense at times was booming. He had incredible outings from Fried and Schlittler. This series was the series where I think the Yankees played the best brand of baseball. Let's start offensively and then we'll move on to the pitching. First of all, you guys remember in late March when everyone said Aaron Judge was washed? Aaron Judge is getting old? Yeah, I remember that too. Aaron Judge is now tied for the league lead in home runs. It was only a matter of time before Aaron Judge actually put his foot on the gas and found his stride offensively. And boy, has he. He's not hitting for the average that he did last year. Last year, he was going into June with a 400 average. But that's never been what the Yankees as an organization or as fans, that's never been what we've asked of him. We've asked of him, yes, get on base a bit, but hit fucking nukes. And that's what he's doing right now. Coming off of the heavyweight battle he had with Mike Trout in Yankee Stadium, that 4-game set was absolutely cinema. Splitting that series, the Yankees got a little lucky, and that's part of why going into this series, this Royals series was so goddamn important. The Yankees were coming off of a 5-game losing streak, then split with a team that is supposed to be somewhat average to mediocre this year, and split the series with them. Now going into a series with a talented team that still hasn't turned it on, but can at any moment, a team with a top 3 player in baseball in Bobby Witt Jr. It was going to be interesting to see how the Yankees would step up. And the one Yankee that did step up was Aaron Judge. He's one of many that did. But the MVP of this series, the one that stepped up the most, was Ben motherfucking Rice. Ben Rice hit a home run in every game of this series. 2 of those games happened to go up against left-handers. One of those left-handers used to be one of the best lefties in baseball. Now, there's a different conversation we may have later on about how bad Cole Reagans has been to start the year. Either way, I have to give Boone credit. When we shit on him for the mistakes he makes lineup-wise, you have to give him credit when he gets it right. Game 3 of this series, he got it right. Sat Stanton, who's struggling, sat Jazz, who's struggling, put Rice at DH, put Goldschmidt at first, tried to get everything involved where, yes, you want your lefty killers in there against lefties. That is important. So Paul Goldschmidt will be a major part of this team. But Ben Rice has announced himself at this point to be one of the premier players in all of Major League Baseball. He leads the league in slugging percentage. He leads the league in OPS. Ben Rice has become a top 10 hitter in baseball. You cannot sit a top 10 hitter in baseball every time his same-handedness comes up. You just can't. And Boone sees that. And it's early for Boone to make adjustments compared to past years. Usually, he'd make these adjustments by July. But April, he's making adjustments to keep the hot hand in the lineup, and it has worked out beautifully. Ben Rice's swing has become so smooth, getting through the zone. Maybe it's not as smooth as a Robinson Cano, but smooth as in it gets through the zone and it never really leaves the zone. He always seems to feel balanced. He always seems to be in control. Even when he's fooled on a pitch, he could still get there. Even when there's a lefty on the mound, he's able to keep his hands inside, able to get his barrel to an inside pitch. He's able to just keep himself fully composed. And that's the difference from maybe his first few at-bats in the major leagues in 24 to now. And so many people thought that Ben Rice was going to be a one-hit wonder. He was never going to get to this point. Well, now he's probably become a perennial superstar. And it's created the question, who's the best hitter in this lineup right now? Because obviously, Aaron Judge has the pedigree of the past. But this year alone, if you put 2026 in a vacuum, Ben Rice has been the best hitter in the Yankees Yankees lineup. I don't think there's much debate to that. Batting over 350, he has almost the same amount of homers, has a higher OPS, higher slugging percentage. This has been a crazy start, along with the fact that this offense as a whole has not been great. So the fact that Ben Rice has been a staple in this lineup with Giancarlo Stanton, who now has sort of started to come back to reality a little bit. Ben Rice has kept it going, and it propelled us in this series. We also got a huge home run from Ryan McMahon, and I'm happy for him. Ryan McMahon has had such a tough year. Doesn't seem like his swing is really working for Yankee Stadium. Teams know how to pitch him now, but he finally got to a pitch, and it felt like the Yankee gods let him have it. Because if you look at that swing again, he looks like he got underneath that ball, and he was late. And that's the only reason it went the other way. And you could see the Royals left fielder kind of look up and think, oh shit, this is still carrying. He thought it was a flyout. So it felt like in that moment, the Yankee gods realized, damn, Ryan McMahon is in a tough one right now. Let him have one. Let the Yankees fans get off his back for maybe a week or two and give him his moment, because he came up big in that game. Outside of the Ben Rice home run in game one, the Yankees offense was stifling up until Ryan McMahon pinch hit. So shout out to him. But to me, the biggest surprise of this series was just how good the pitching was from the guys I didn't expect. And the guy I'm really talking about here is Will Warren. Because yes, Cam Schlittler had a good outing, but I expect that out of Cam Schlittler nowadays. That's not front page news anymore. What is front page news is the pitch mix that Will Warren is developing, and the fact that Will Warren's pitch mix in game 2 of this Royal series created possibly the best performance I have seen Will Warren ever put on in a Yankees uniform. That was unbelievable. And part of why it was unbelievable to me is because last year, yes, his rookie year, but a lot of that year, he was a two-pitch pitcher. He was 4 seams up, breaking ball away. And the breaking ball had a lot of movement. He'd get a lot of whiff. He'd get a lot of Ks, he'd get a lot of backwards Ks because he's talented. He's got tremendous break on that breaking ball. But that fastball loves to stay straight. What I saw in game 2 was Will Warren mix in at least 4 pitches. He started putting in that 2-seam fastball, and it was filthy. And another thing I saw was instead of throwing the 4-seamer high, he went low with it. You mix that in with a 2-seam fastball, that's where you're going to get a ton of backwards Ks. Because that 2-seam fastball, when it works like a sinker, it dips down. Hitters are not going to see when you have a 4-seamer coming in. They're going to think it's going down. So they're just going to assume in their mind low. That was tremendous work. And I don't know who decided to call it. I don't know if that was a Wells decision or if that was a Matt Blake call or if Will Warren's just been working really hard in the offseason. But that right there showed me that Will Warren does have the stuff to be at least a midline starter in Major League Baseball and be a good one at that. Being able to mix things up the way he did, keeping those hitters off balance. And the Royals offense, although they are struggling right now, that is a super talented offense. Salvador Perez, Bobby Witt Jr., Maikel Garcia, Vinny Pasquantino. These are all high-level major leaguers. All of those guys have gotten to the All-Star game. Some of those guys are MVP candidates. Well, Vinny Pasquantino just led Italy in the WBC to the semifinals. This is a talented lineup Will Warren went up against, and they looked clueless. They did not realize he had that stuff. They looked like the scouting report was wrong. And it was, because that's not the Will Warren of last year. This is a new and improved Will Warren, and I am here for it. And Ryan Weathers in game 3, long rain delay, trying to go for the sweep, hasn't gotten a single run by his offense this year, comes in and has one of his better starts of his career, mixed it up so much better than his last game. A lot of Ryan Weathers' stuff looks the same if you think about it, because most of his pitch mix is fastball slider, but because of his arm slot, his fastball goes into righties and outside to lefties. So his pitches do this and this. It's the same area. So when he becomes predictable and doesn't mix in his 3rd pitch or doesn't mix in his 4th pitch and he sticks with that 2-pitch mix, he becomes super predictable. And when he becomes predictable, that fastball gets fucking crushed. In this game, he mixed in all of his pitches, kept the Royals off balance just like Will Warren, and just like the Oakland game, Ryan Weathers put up an amazing game. Overall, I love what I saw from the Yankees coming coming out of this Angels series. If Will Warren can continue to mix in those pitches like that, this pitching staff looks absolutely insane. When you think Weathers and Heel may go to the bullpen once Cole and Rodon are back. So now you got a rotation of Cole, Fried, Rodon, Schlittler, Warren. All of those guys, especially if Warren can build off of this game, have all-star potential. All of those guys have nasty stuff. That could be one of the most talented rotations in baseball. What did you guys think about this series? Did you see the same improvements that I saw? Let me know in the comments below. I know I haven't recorded in a week. That's my bad, like always, but I have a way to remedy this. If you guys got to this point in the video and you want me to start streaming post games just to kind of empty out the thoughts in my head post game for every game, let me know in the comments below and I will start doing that just to make sure I get regular content out to you guys. But either way, whether you want it or not, like the video, subscribe if you're new, comment below your thoughts on the series, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care and peace.